We've got the Continental in a photo studio, and usually when we're in the photo studio, I'll do a walk around. But we've done several walk arounds with the Continental already, and we've had several questions that have been asked online. And today, I'm gonna answer those questions. One of the questions that was asked is, when we started the project, is this what I had in mind of what it would be? Yeah, we did an original sketch, but the car was gonna be blue. And the Velascos, who we were building this for, they said they wanted a blue car. And when I looked at the original gauges on the Continental, they were this beautiful green color. And these are not the original gauges. We reproduced them with Shannon at Redline, and I came up with a new green that worked with this color. But when I saw that original green, I thought, you know, it's a Continental. They all had those green gauges, and I called them and I talked to them and I did another sketch, and they said, yes, let's do it green. And I think we hit this out of the park because I just love this green on this car with the green leather. It's a home run. Another question we were asked is how we landed on this green specifically. Well, my wife Kathleen she has a company called The Color Coach, and she does colors for homes and office, professional offices and different places. And when I was making the green, I knew what the gauges were. I started playing around with some different greens, and I just took a bunch of toners and started dumping into a bucket. And I'm starting to get the color, and it's getting closer and closer. And Kathleen kept saying, you need more gray, you need more gray. And she was right. I kept adding more gray to it to kind of tone it down. And I think with her help and me just dumping stuff into a bucket, I love the color that we've got on this. And in fact, I love it so much, I want to use it on something else. We were asked if there was anything on this car that was inspired by a previous build that we had done. Well, the biggest change on this car is the fact that we got rid of the top. And I would say the next car that's probably closest to this would have been the Eldorado, which is a car that I started at Hot Rods by Boyd. It was a maroon color. When I first designed it, I wanted to do it the blue that we ended up redoing it as. But those two cars, this one has never been next to the Eldorado, but I would love to see these two cars next to one another one day. We've also been asked if this car has a name, and it does. And it's Verde, which is green. We were asked if there were any modifications that took convincing, and I'm gonna say no, because we didn't do anything that was really outrageous. It's just what I called tailored fitting. The bumpers were tailor fit, the grills, the headlights, the taillights, everything was just tailor fit. If you take it to a tailor, they just make sure that everything is fit really nice, and that's what this car was all about. We got rid of the top. We took that spare tire down about 3 inches on the deck lid, and then it was all about the fit and finish on the rest of the parts, other than we put an LS3 from Blueprint Engines in it, and so now it's got plenty of power. It's not an old motor, it's something that's reliable, and we got the matching transmission from General Motors to go with it. It's kind of fun. A lot of people, when we open the hood on this and they look in there and they see this crazy MagnaFlow exhaust system. Well, what that is it's mimicking the original Continental exhaust, which comes right up next to the valve covers and then drops off the back of them, drops down into the wheel wells. You can actually see it behind the front tire when you look in the front wheel well, and those exhaust pipes run through the rockers and then out the back bumper. But that's what the original exhaust system did. We just did it with MagnaFlow and all stainless steel. We were asked what was the most challenging part of this build, and I'm gonna say it was the making sure that all of the interior pieces, the original pieces, were back in here and fit. When we cut the top off, the body became a little bit flexible, and I think that's why they probably never built these as convertibles. They built a couple of them, but they must have really reinforced the frame rails, because we had to do the same thing. We were asked if there was a big lesson that we learned in building this car. Yes, big lesson. Do another one. We were asked what was the idea for the interior, and well, of course the top was cut off, and then I wanted that back seat to look like it belongs. So we used the back seat of a 64 Thunderbird, and that whole trim piece that goes around the seat, we used the Thunderbird seat pieces, but we reupholstered it so it would have that beautiful flow that comes around the back and then tied into the original dash piece. Now, originally, the Continental dash would be leather wrapped also, but we just left the trim leather wrapped and we left that painted. I think it looks better that way. And then all of this stock door panel, the upper part of the door, that flows into the back and it looks like it all belongs. We were asked if any part of this car took a lot longer to complete than we thought it was going to. And I'm gonna say that the entire project took longer than I thought it was going to. But I think we hit a home run, and Pat and Linda Velasco have a beautiful Continental. We were also asked if there was a small detail on this car that was really difficult to execute. I would say it'd be the top of the windshield. You know, you can't just cut the roof off of a car and wrap that edge. All of this had to be fabricated, and we had to fit all the trim, the new chrome pieces. It looks like this is all stock chrome, but everything from the belt line here and up was fabricated. We were able to use an original windshield, but the rest of all this has been fabricated. The tops of the wind wings, some of the chrome trim on the interior we had to fabricate because the original pieces would no longer fit, and they didn't want to be the shape that we needed them to be. We had to recreate all of that and make it look like that's the way it was from the factory. If it doesn't look like it came from the factory, it's gonna look out of place. So it's the time that it took to make it look like that's what it was supposed to be from the factory to make it look like it belonged. The process to get this to SEMA was really exciting to see how well this car was received in the Blueprint Engines booth at SEMA last year. I mean, people just absolutely loved it, and I was proud to have it there. We were asked where this ranks among all of our builds, and that's like saying, well, who's your favorite kid? They're all our kids, and we love every one of them that we've ever built, and this is just one of them. We were also asked what was my favorite part of this car, and I'm gonna say it's the wheels, because the wheels look like they belong on the car. These are complete one-off custom wheels that I designed and worked with Jason Lee at Wheel Pros. Wheel Pros Wheel Shop, they cut the wheels for us, and I just think the wheels, wheels are the jewelry of a car, and the jewelry on this car is beautiful. I was pretty proud to have this car at SEMA, 2025. But next year, or this year I should say, 2026, we're gonna have a couple new cars that I'm quite excited about having there, but we're gonna bring some product that I can't wait to show at SEMA 2026. Stay tuned.